Now you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, yes, hello everyone. Welcome to today's tech meeting. And I think today it will get a very, very short one. So I think there are many, I'm not sure if there are many new faces here, but I see at least one or two people I didn't see until now. So welcome here in the tech meeting. And I just want, so does anybody of you want to introduce himself?
Hi everyone, my name is Ram. Um, I used to be a regular at one point of time. It sort of tailed off after Chicago. Just here to catch up on things. I work at the Linux Foundation. I manage a couple of projects.
It seems like your connection was not the best, so we didn't
Oh,
hear the last few sentences.
yeah.
But it seems like the connection doesn't get better. So nice to have you here. And yes, hope you enjoy the meeting here. I think Paul, you are also here the first time, right?
Yes, I'm here for the first time, and I'm here to talk about a proposal for the ideas and please take a look section. And I'm in documentation writer at VMware by Broadcom, and so have been sort of working in that, started at Pivotal, VMware, Broadcom, and have been working in doing documentation for cloud-based stuff for a long time. And and I was telling Thomas at the beginning that I'm kind of a privacy nut, so I don't want to have my machine readable likeness posted online associated with my name. But after the recording, if you want to, after the recording stops, I'd be happy to, I'd love to sort of go on video and say hi to everyone.
Okay. So also nice to have you here.
Thank you.
So Dylan, I think you are not new here, right? And Siddhant, um, where are you already in the tech meeting? In a tech meeting, someone?
No, I'm here for the first time.
Okay, perfect. And
So,
how did you find the tech?
actually, one of my friends at my company, Abhinav, he told me about the tag meetings and he told me that I should get involved with that. So here I am to see where I can contribute with.
Perfect, nice to have you here. So
Cool.
normally we start with some tech updates and so on for the tech app delivery. Afterwards, we will have some status updates from a working group. So I think only one working group is represented today. So this will get very fast. We don't have any project presentations today, and afterwards we will talk about your ontology proposal if it's okay.
Sounds great.
So just to get over it very fast. So currently in the tag we have some changes of the leadership team. So Josh stepped back as a co-chair. And secondly, Karina joined the technical oversight committee. So we had some kind of slots we have some kinds of some slots to fill now. And the first slot is about to be filled. So we are currently about to nominate Robert Strand as a co-chair of the Tech App Delivery. But furthermore, and this is relevant for everyone at the moment, if you want to get involved into the tech a bit deeper and want to show some leadership skills and so on there, we are looking for new tech leads, and we also have the possibility to have trial runs for tech leads to find out if this is the perfect fit for you, if you fit to the rest of the tech leadership team. So this is a thing where we will send where we will create a ticket in a short term. And if you are interested in something, please reach out to the leadership team, so to me, Lian, or Robert at the moment. From the status updates, I think the only working group which is represented today is the infrastructure lifecycle working group, right? So Dylan, do you have some updates for us?
Yeah, basically the current working group has finally put together a charter, a draft charter, which I've linked in the agenda for everyone to review. Please feel free to leave feedback and comments. We have a meeting this Friday. We meet Fridays at noon Eastern. I believe that is 4 p.m. UTC. And this upcoming meeting will be discussing the process for nominating chairs and to clarify that in the existing PR for the draft charter.
This would be cool. Yes. So any things where the tag itself can help you? Or?
At this moment, no. The tag has been great. Robert is very involved with us right now, especially since Karina has moved on to the technical oversight committee. Both Karina and Robert have been very, very helpful. And so at this moment, there's nothing we need. All I ask for the rest of the tag is to please review the charter and let us know if there's any feedback or anything we might have overlooked in terms of our internal discussions that we need to address in the charter before we finalize the proposal.
Okay, this sounds pretty nice. So
Thank
thank
you.
you for that. Okay, so today we don't have any project presentations. So Paul, I think you had some proposal for us, right?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So yeah, so as I said, my background is, I mean, if you go, yeah, I used to write software, but most recently, I'm a tech writer, and going way back with the stuff I've been doing, I mean, I've always been working on these big sort of application delivery, application management, cloud-based platforms that are composed of lots of open source components. And sort of in this world, as I'm sure you know, one of the big problems and one of the things that I've heard from support and that folks have complained about is that the terminology is inconsistent and confusing. And I mean, when things are developed bottom up, which is a very powerful way to develop things, and there's no sort of imposition of a common object model, common definitions of things, then the different two pizza teams can sort of come up with their different ways of talking about things, and without being coordinated with the other teams. And so it's been sort of an issue for, I think, among the folks I work with, kind of broadly acknowledged. And but I've only been sort of at these few companies, and kind of looking into the issue, I found that there's this format, formal ontology format, which people use to basically define the basic objects and relationships in any domain. And it's super powerful. I talk about it a lot in the proposal, and it seems to me that it would be really helpful to the members of the CNCF to kind of have a standard set of definitions and objects. I mean, there's the CNCF glossary, which I think is a great resource and a great start, but sort of just to give it a little more formalism and make it more usable by machine processes, and make it more usable by data processes and data integration projects, to sort of incorporate these terms into a formal ontology, publish that as an open source project, like the way FIBA, for example, or some of these other financial industry business ontology, or medical ontologies, things like that other industries find useful. And not only would it help the CNCF members by kind of aligning all of our thinking and aligning to sort of an agreed on set of objects that exist in the domain of cloud native computing, but it would also, of course, help the customers, help the customers of all of the members of the CNCF, because then there'd be a common language and things would be consistent. So anyway, so this has been kind of my dream for a while, and I've been really excited about it and kind of looking into it. And I talked with a guy, Jay Singer Dumars, who's at Broadcom as well, and about it. And he said, hey, honestly, I don't think this is the kind of thing that this is going to be a priority in-house. But what you should really do is go to the CNCF. This is definitely and which makes sense, because as a kind of a standards, a standards writing or a standards defining organization, it should be, or I should say, as like a kind of a standards writing or a standards creating proposal, it should come out of something like the CNCF rather than like one sort of commercial company somewhere. So anyway, so long story, I guess this is a long story long, but so I asked Jace, so who should I talk to at the CNCF? I'd love to run that down. So he gave me Chris Anishizik's name and said, this is the guy that this is the guy that I asked talk to about stuff like this. So I pinged Chris Anishizik, and he said, hey, why don't you write a proposal? I'm open to it. Sounds neat. And so I wrote this proposal, which is linked in the agenda. And he looked at it and basically said, hey, take this to the app delivery tag. They'll and see what they say, and good luck, and I'm open to it. And so yeah, so here I am. And I don't know, I mean, I guess, sort of given, having read the tag app delivery charter and sort of gleaned from that stuff what this tag is about, I can kind of see, I think I can see sort of why he said I should come to you guys. But I'd love to get your take on it. So anyway, so basically would love any and all input on the proposal. Check it out. Just, even just like a one-line reaction, you're a nut, or like it, or whatever. Or deeper stuff. And, know that this is, we have, our time on this planet is precious, right? I mean, we don't, but this is something that I want to do in my life. This is something that I want to pursue. So it's, so I'd love to see what you guys think.
Yes, so I took a look on the proposal some weeks ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
For me, this topic is a bit um, I would not say problematic, but challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me this falls outside. This is outside of the scope of the tag app delivery.
Mm-hmm.
So we are normally dealing with projects who want to deliver software, or want to deliver infrastructures or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we are not here for defining such things. So one thing we had in the charter when we began with app delivery was we wanted to create some kind of I think it was a glossary or whatever for app
Mm-hmm.
delivery itself.
Uh-huh.
There was a list for it.
Yeah.
But in the end, I think most of the things are also done by the glossary you already mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So many things from that delivery space find themselves again in the glossary. And although I find your approach and so on very, very cool, and I also see the value behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, I don't want to. and I only speak for myself, but I wouldn't like to drive it in a tag. So for me, I think it would be better for you if you get in touch with people from the tech contributor strategy, I think.
Sorry, get in touch with, who is that? People from the
This
tech.
is the tech contributor strategy.
Oh, tech contributor. Okay, tech contributor strategy. Okay.
Because I think some of their people also maintain the glossary.
Mhm.
Because I'm not sure if if they want to have this glossary and another thing.
Mhm. Right. Yeah.
Um, Therefore, I think they at least they know better where to go to.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the glossary is a great resource, and I certainly don't want to take it away. And what I would love to enable is for it to be kind of like one surface manifestation of the underlying ontology. So basically, you've got you've got this sort of human readable side of it and the machine readable side of it, and it's all drawing from the same underlying ontology. But so you're saying that those are the folks, that the tech contributor strategy folks are the people who are most involved with the glossary, right?
I think they are involved there, so at least they are the tag where this fits the most.
Uh-huh. Cool.
And therefore, I think they are the right people to talk to when it comes to such things.
Great.
Because
Who's a
in our case, yes, I could say, let's do it, let's do a prototype or whatever, but in the end, I'm not sure if this will be really successful if it's under the tag app delivery.
right? Okay. So tech contributor strategy, yeah. Who's a you know who's a good person, or who are good folks to ping in that group?
I just post a link to the tag repository there.
Great.
And I think they also,
Okay, yeah, in the chat. All right. Contributor strategy.
yes,
Cool.
at least there is a list to the leads there.
Hmm. Great. Well, yeah, no, Thomas, I really appreciate your reading through it and thinking about it and thinking about how, you know, how to pursue it. And yeah, anyone else, I don't know if anyone else has looked at it, but I'm open to any and all other comments, and I will for sure ping the tag contributor strategy folks.
I think for this topic it makes more sense. So
Great, great, cool.
perfect. Does anybody else want to say something regarding this?
Yeah, I mostly agree with Thomas in terms of this being slightly outside the scope of the tag itself. But I do believe that there is a world in which the glossary and a taxonomy or an ontology project can live side by side. I think it would be nice to take a piecemeal approach and go from one subset of projects and add other subsets of projects and grow like a tree, so to say, into what your grand vision or your Sistine Chapel for the ontology project might be. In
So
that regard, sorry.
so when you say one project, sort of project by project, how, like, what are some examples of projects? How are you sort of chunking the term project in that,
So there's a starting point you can choose in terms of let's say you want to focus on CI/CD that's cloud native, or you want to focus on build options that are available. There's a bunch of definitions in each area, and
Right.
then there's a bunch of different projects that interpret them slightly differently, and they present different kinds of interfaces because of said different interpretations. For example, there's build packs and there's builda or whatever, and then there's like the Docker build and something that there's buildx or things like that. So all of them are focused around building containers that are
Right.
OCI formatted and used in the context of a Kubernetes cluster. You could start with something like that, define containers and OCI and what a build actually means. And then each of these different projects interpret different elements that come together in different ways. And maybe that's a good idea to build these things in. And for example, if you take the CI/CD space, cloud native CI/CD itself is kind of confusing for folks, I guess. But if you combine some of the basic definitions in the glossary and then build on to showcase what the relations are between the different things. So Tecton takes the notions of slightly different notions than Argo does, and they both accomplish continuous delivery in a certain way. So definitions like pipelines and what a workflow looks like when you use Tecton versus when you use Argo, for example. And then there's like a tool like Dagger that's gaining popularity. When you throw that into the mix, it skews people's understanding slightly more.
Right.
And so I think it would be nice to get an overview of what those projects are like and build some understanding of that, and then bring all of these together into the larger piece. So
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Love it.
and my comment there was more in terms of, in that regard, if there is an app delivery piece that you want more feedback on or more information on, then I think it would make more sense to come back to this group and ask for specific feedback.
Yeah. Great. Makes sense for sure. I mean, it seems like the structure of the different tags, like there's a subdomain of terminology and ontology possibility that is really owned by the different tags. So yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, it's I see Dylan Daniel.
Yeah, I think one of the things and I think this is pretty much only touched on, but this is something that I feel each tag would be interested in to contribute, because one of the discussions we came up when defining our charter for the infrastructure lifecycle is, what is a platform? What is infrastructure? Those terms mean different things to different people, whether you're an application developer or if you're a DevOps engineer, or at what. For me, as someone who works on a platform team, the infrastructure is something that is at the lower level. But for an app developer, everything's the infrastructure below them. So I think there is definitely interest there, at least from my side, in this. But whether or not this is, I think Thomas is right in terms of like, this probably fits better with the contributor strategy tag, in terms of, guiding, maintain, like helping build contributors, and how do you like kind of, it seems to fit more in their scope rather than like as a first step. And then once you kind of find a home for it, I feel like you would very easily get other tags and working groups to be able to contribute to it.
Cool. Yeah, makes sense.
But this is a great idea. Thank you for proposing it.
Great. Well, thanks for the discussion, I mean, and I yeah, I think everyone agrees. And I think you're absolutely right. It's kind of like, this is, this should not be the domain of one particular tag, but each tag kind of has its own set of terms that it would want to nail down and make, industry standard in a way that's sort of machine readable and human readable, and that could all, then you slowly work on your Sistine Chapel. Yeah.
Perfect. Good. So from the agenda wise, we would be finished now. Has anybody still some points we should discuss? Okay, this doesn't sound so. If anybody would have some questions, so then I think we'll get back 30 minutes. So thanks for attending, and yes, see you hopefully again in 2 weeks. Then have a nice evening. Bye bye.
Great, thanks. Nice meeting everyone, and
Bye.
we'll be in touch. Bye.